Today we're going to do a meditation that my teacher Giuseppe Piazza taught me. I really like this one. It's a good way of getting into your body first thing without having to think about what's going on. You just kind of discover through the process, and through allowance, things move out of the system. And this method is really about clearing off. A lot of us will be in the front of our bodies, or will be above, in our heads and not really fully in. And this allows us to really clear out space so that more of us can truly come in. There are many different ways of approaching this, so I'm just going to walk through one of them. And you might notice that you yawn a lot, or there's like a shaking. The yawning is releasing of energy, as is the shaking. The shaking is the nervous system releasing some kind of programmings. So let's begin. A lot of times it's best to close your eyes and find yourself in a really quiet space. Even take off your shoes or socks and find yourself outside so that you can really ground. Okay, so first we're going to work with our root chakra, which is in between our legs. It's the pelvic region, kidneys, adrenals. And close your eyes and dive into your breath. Now imagine going through the front of your root chakra and out the back. Like you were to just visibly dive through it, and you're right on the skin and behind your back, your very lower back, pelvic region. How does it feel there? Does it feel tight? Does it feel open, loose, light, heavy, warm, cold? Just notice. And as you bring your attention there, things will start to move. Yeah, because where attention goes, energy flows. And energy is light, and light clears out heaviness. And it's not about going into the story of why it might be heavy, it's about holding space with it, because space allows heavy energy or any energy to move and clear. Nice. And then go back a little bit further. How is that space? Maybe like a foot back. What do you notice back there? And if you're not noticing a movement of energy, it's just like, oh, this feels heavy and it's not moving. Go back to a space where there is lightness. And that can be as far back as like 20, 25 feet behind you. Find the space of light. Sit in it. And naturally, what's in between that light space and your physical body will start to unravel. Because all energy needs to unravel is your energy awareness, your consciousness bringing into that space. Nice, and I'm unraveling and working with this too, right? And I'm feeling the layers, because I see it as layers, starting to move off. Right? Because the back is where we receive. We receive energy through there. I mean, we can receive energy through anywhere, but a lot of us receive a lot of our energy through our backs. And our back can be a representation of the past. So you're clearing off past programming, past trauma, past limitations that don't serve you anymore. You're going into the space of lightness, that still space, that space that is you. And allowing that you to bring light to anything that's not really you, and to clear it. And as that moves forward, we're going to invite, as that space of lightness joins with the space of lightness in you and your physical body, we're going to invite that to ground. And I like to do that with imagining a golden cord of light going through my core, through my root, down into the heart of the earth. So we're rooting ourselves, right? And the base chakra balances with the head chakra, the crown chakra. So you might notice more movement up here opening up. Now we're going to go into the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is about 3 fingers below your belly button. Imagine going through the front and out the back. That skin right on the back of your back. And what do you notice? Is it light? Is it heavy? Is it soft, hard, thick? and breathe with it. If it feels like it's really stuck, go back to a space. Could be a couple feet behind you, wherever that space is where you feel light, and sit in that. This awareness will then start to unravel anything that's in between. Yeah. Beautiful. And the sacral chakra, in my teaching, is the ovaries, it's the uterus, it's the bladder. And the root chakra is the kidneys, the adrenals. Yeah, and the legs. Sorry, something was unraveling. And the prostate is the sacral as well, the gonads. Nice. And as that's moving forward, as you feel that space lightening up, imagine a cord of golden light going down through the center of you and grounding that energy into the heart of the earth. And I like to do this sometimes with the layers. Like I'll feel a foot back and I'll ground that. 3 feet back, I'll ground that. Because that then will allow all the multidimensional aspects all the layers of you to start to really ground. Because we're not just a physical body. Nice. Right. Feel your breath expanding. Feel the energy clearing through your breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the solar plexus, which is, it's right below the sternum, the stomach, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the liver, the spleen, small intestine, large intestine. Go through the front of your body, out the back, and just notice right back behind the skin there, behind your spine. What does that feel like? Does that feel heavy? Does it feel light? Warm, cold? What is the sensation? Just be with it. Your being with it will start to clear it. Now go a foot back. Notice what that space feels like. Maybe 2 feet back. Again, finding that light space. And in that light space, allowing your focus to be there so that anything that is not that starts to move out. It's a lot easier to move things out of our system when we're in the light, right? And it's a lot more enjoyable. So it's like standing in love with something light versus standing in the darkness, fear with something. And breathe. Good. Now let's go through the heart chakra. It's right here. Imagine going through the front and out the back. Notice how it is between your shoulder blades. Light, heavy, stuck, hard, sad. There might be some emotions with it. There might be emotions with all of these spaces. Just notice, hold space with it, and allow it to unravel. Yeah, and maybe go back another foot. Notice there. Inviting all these spaces to ground and to line up. You can imagine like there's a golden light here. This would be your heart chakra, and then your solar plexus in alignment with it in the same plane, and feeling a cord of light going down through that. This is helping all the layers. I have some things clearing. Align and move energy freely and easily. Because when things are out of alignment, you want energy to go back and forth or move through the space. It has to travel further, and there's more that can get in its way. But whenever you're in full alignment, there's just a clear channel, and there's a lot of ease with it, and you can bring in more energy. Good. And your heart chakra is the lungs, the arms, the shoulders, the thymus, and the heart. It can also be the diaphragm. Nice. Now let's work with the throat chakra. So go in through the front and out the back, and notice how it feels right behind your neck. A lot of us will have a lot of stuck energy here because we're so mental. You know, this is the bridge between the mind and the heart. And sometimes that can get clogged, especially, you know, when you're working in a lot of mental space or in a mental group of collective consciousness. So just notice what it feels like and go to the space, however far back, that feels light. And sit in that. And allow the energy between that light space and the physical to start to unravel. And give this as much time as you need. I mean, everybody's different. This is building a pathway, kind of like a muscle. So at first it might take a while. At first you might not feel a lot. At first it might feel like nothing's happening. And then over time, as things start to open up, as your senses become more attuned to this process, you're going to notice more and more and more. This process allows for more sensitivity and awareness to come in, more of you to come in. Your connection to everything, because you are everything, starts to unravel anything that is in the way of that, anything that is not true, any illusions or misperceptions that have been created that you are separate from that. Nice. And the throat chakra is the thyroid, the parathyroid, the neck, the shoulders, and the arms as well. And sometimes I'll feel like it's the nervous system up here, but there's another chakra right above at this occipital point. That's called the Alta in my training. And that's the one we're going to go through next. I like to access it through the third eye. Imagine going through the front of the third eye and diagonally back out the back of your head, right at the top of your spinal cord. And notice how it feels back there. There's the cerebellum, the basal ganglia, the limbic system. I mean, you have so much that you're clearing out back here. A lot of the brain, the primal brain, and the endocrine system. So just know that there can be a lot there, and that's okay. The more we allow, the more energy it flows. It's whenever we kind of attach to things and want to understand why mentally, versus through embodiment, that we can be more reactionary, and then things take a lot longer to clear and to move and to be understood. And go back to a space that feels really light. Sit in that and allow anything in between to unravel. And you can imagine if you're like 5 feet back, being there, and then slowly go to 4 feet. Okay, that feels heavy. Let me just sit with that. Okay, that's lighting up. Let me ground that with a cord so it's really stable. And go to the 3 feet back. Allow that to lighten. 2 feet, 1 foot. And then in your body. Whew. Yeah, I feel that one. Whew. And now we're going to do the crown chakra. So it goes right up through the top of your head and balances with the root chakra. Imagine going through, this is how I access this one, through the bottom of your head and up through. See how that flow is. Whew. Yeah. And notice how it is in your body. And then a foot back, 2 feet back, 3 feet back. Find the light space. Sit with it, ground it, and then move it forward. And breathe with it. Breath is a rhythm that allows us to feel alive. Breath is movement of energy. Nice. And the crown chakra, you know, is the parts of the brain. Frontal lobe, parietal, temporal. Occipital lobe is more taken care of with the Alta balancing versus the crown chakra balancing, in my opinion. Nice. And for some of these, you might see colors. You might see different shapes. You might have visions or memories. Just hold space with it. Don't attach to it. There's lots of information that's stored. Lots of things that are a part of the illusion of life, right? What is really true, I believe, is the light, is the space that is just still. We are everything. We are that energy. And when we can be in that space, there's not a reaction, there is a being. And then we get to really see the magic of life versus the filters that create more fear and reaction to life. Nice. And now, as a last thing that you can do, you can bring all of these chakras, just imagine going through the top and down through all the chakras and just feeling each one of those planes in the physical, a foot back, 2 feet back, all of them lining up. And if anywhere feels like it's not lined up, just hold space with it and know that energy follows thought, and your intention is to align them, so it will. It really is that easy. Our mind likes to say that it's not that easy, and then if we believe that it's not that easy, then we create a reality in which it's not that easy. So, yeah, good job. So this is just one of many different methods that you can use to really get in your body. I like this one because I can do it throughout the day and just notice what's going on. I'll start to learn things about my body in different situations of how it's reacting, and then what's getting clogged up in the process. And then you might want to go look it up and say, oh, okay, kidneys, oh, they represent fear. That's interesting. And they need water. And I haven't drank a lot of water. The more water I drink, the less fear I tend to have through the day, and the more grounded I feel. And you start to really understand different layers of how you operate. But the biggest thing is just being with the body and embodying yourself. As that happens, there's less imbalances that occur, and there's more alignment with being in the flow of life, which is then creating magic and resonance and calling into you what you really desire. And that's when everything's are really fun. So you can do this process with your nervous system, your endocrine system, any of the organs in your body. You can get really creative. This is just another way of looking at things. And you can not only go through the front to the back, you can come in through the sides, you can go the back to the front. Ideally, everything's just open and flowing. And that's whenever you just feel fully embodied, right? If you have any questions, please let me know. I love talking about all of this, and stay tuned for other videos. Okay, have a lovely day. Take care.